Imagine 100 Deadpools thrown into a fight. Their trash talk alone could wipe out half the universe. Out of nowhere, a golden portal bursts open, and 100 Deadpools pop up. Men, women, old folks, kids, every kind of Deadpool you can think of. There's even a skeleton and a clown dog, and yep, a baby with a pacifier. All as Deadpools. Their mission: to take down the Deadpool and Wolverine from this world. Right now, Wolverine's putting on his mask, extending his claws and ready for action. Deadpool's zooming around with his golden guns. Wolverine charges in with his claws out. Deadpool's flying around and dodging like crazy. Claws and bullets are flying everywhere, creating sparks. Deadpool's got every trick in the book. When he runs out of bullets, he tosses the guns, grabs a matching long sword, and starts slicing through them. He even kicks one Deadpool's head into the front of a yellow car. Nobody can stand up to them. Even 20 Deadpools working together can't keep up with Wolverine's speed and power. So, who's the bigger badass, Wolverine or 100 Deadpools? They fight their way into a bus, where screams fill the air and blood stains the windows. Then, they burst out through the windows, taking down 100 Deadpools. Well, 99 actually. One baby Deadpool suddenly starts laughing. All the Deadpools come back to life, thanks to their insane healing powers. You should know, Deadpool once got blown to bits by gasoline explosions, and even split in half by Juggernaut, and he still didn't die. His healing is seriously off the charts, but at this rate, they could go on fighting until humanity's extinct and still not decide a winner. So why are Deadpool and Wolverine being chased by 100 Deadpools? Let's rewind a few days. Deadpool, feeling down because he's hit middle age, and his girlfriend dumped him. Deadpool decides to look for a job. He uses a time travel device he got from Cable to hop over to the MCU, the universe where the Avengers live, to apply for a spot on the team. Did he make it? Deadpool sets his sights on joining the Avengers, but ends up getting ruthlessly booted by Happy, Iron Man's driver. So, he heads back to his own universe, only to become a second-hand car salesman. But things go from bad to worse when the TVA labels him as a time criminal for messing with the timeline. The TVA stands for Time Variance Authority, and they crack down on anyone who messes with the multiverse's development. Deadpool's little time-hopping escapade is a major violation, and the one who keeps the timeline in check is none other than Loki, the god of mischief. The TVA's boss, Mr. Paradox, gives Deadpool a shot at redemption. He takes Deadpool inside the TVA, where Deadpool sees Captain America on a screen, and even catches a glimpse of himself dying in Thor's arms in the future. Deadpool's over the moon. Looks like he does end up joining the Avengers after all. He even gives Captain America a salute. Mr. Paradox tells him it's his chance to grab that Avengers ticket. He's got a new suit all ready for him. Deadpool quickly changes into the fresh new gear, strapping on his daggers and golden guns. It's been 6 years since he last wore a suit. Deadpool's entrance is one of his funniest ever. He's showing off his body in an elevator. Mr. Paradox tells Deadpool that his universe is about to collapse, and everyone's going to disappear. Turns out, every universe has an anchor character. If that anchor dies, the entire universe goes with it. So, Deadpool's job is to prevent the anchor from dying and save the universe. And that anchor is Wolverine. Deadpool's fuming. Why isn't he the anchor? He's clearly amazing. Mr. Paradox nearly bursts out laughing. He's never seen anyone so full of themselves. It's well known that Wolverine died while protecting a bunch of young mutants. He's a legendary mutant hero, and a brave X-Man. But Deadpool thinks Wolverine, like him, has insane healing powers, and might just be playing dead. So, he heads back in time, finds Wolverine's grave, and starts digging with a big shovel. He digs and curses, muttering a whole bunch of expletives, until he finally uncovers Wolverine's body. Turns out, Wolverine really is dead. All that's left is a skeleton made of adamantium. Deadpool's furious. He's swinging his shovel in anger, but there's nothing else to do but grab a Wolverine from another universe and bring him to his own. Just as he's about to leave, TVA agents show up. The TVA from the past doesn't know about his mission, but Deadpool can't get caught. So, he uses Wolverine's skeleton as a weapon. 206 bones, 206 weapons. He rips off a rib and whoosh, takes out one agent. Then he sneaks around, stabs another, and pierces a third agent's head. Deadpool goes into full combo mode, using Wolverine's spine and head like a meteor hammer, making the agents dizzy. In the snowy landscape, a metal leg bone flies into the air. Deadpool does a flip, lands, and takes out an agent. He grabs the leg bone, and with another throw, takes out another agent. Then he grabs Wolverine's head and starts swinging it like a giant hammer. Deadpool ends up with Wolverine's claws. Just then, another wave of TVA agents comes through a portal. Deadpool straps the claws onto his arms, and with Wolverine's claws in hand, he's even more of a badass. He's poking and slicing, taking out agents in seconds. In no time, he's used up all 206 bones and those Wolverine claws, making sure the TVA gets a taste of everything. After dealing with the mess, Deadpool leaps to another timeline, Apocalypse era. There, he finds a one-armed Wolverine with a full head of hair, looking scruffy and fierce. Without saying a word, this Wolverine launches into a brutal assault on Deadpool. Realizing this Wolverine is too hot-headed, Deadpool jumps to a third timeline. Here, he finds a one-eyed Wolverine. This Wolverine is in a white suit, doing a secret mission, but Deadpool blows his cover. Then, Deadpool gets his neck sliced open with a single claw swipe. The fourth Wolverine he encounters is like Superman, same powers and all. And yep, he's also ready to throw down without hesitation. Have you ever seen a Wolverine who's only 5 feet 3 inches? It'd totally blow Deadpool's mind. Deadpool is all business, telling short Wolverine to leave with him. But then Wolverine storms in with a murderous look. Deadpool thinks this guy is trouble, so he jumps to the 6th dimension. In this one, he runs into a cowboy Wolverine. The guy's tough and doesn't mess around. He just pulls out a gun and bam, sends Deadpool flying to the 7th dimension. This time, it's a world full of skeletons, and Deadpool finds Wolverine nailed to a cross, about to die. So Deadpool has no choice but to keep going and heads to the 8th dimension. Here, he sees a yellow and brown Wolverine in the middle of a fight. The Hulk's reflection is caught in Wolverine's claws, and just as Deadpool takes it in, the Hulk smacks him across the dimension. Deadpool's always getting his ass kicked, no matter what dimension he's in. Even if he drags these guys back to his own dimension, they're not exactly peaceful types. So, he heads to the 9th dimension, and finds the most down-and-out Wolverine ever. Check out Wolverine's claws. They're only about 0.75 inches long. This Wolverine is super quiet and doesn't attack Deadpool, but he's clearly in a rough spot. It turns out everyone he cared about is dead in this dimension, making him the most pathetic Wolverine ever. Deadpool tries to force him to come along, and Wolverine instinctively pops out his claws, but they barely show and look pretty silly and cute. He doesn't make any aggressive moves. Losing patience, Deadpool pulls out his gun and insists that Wolverine has to come back with him. Wolverine grabs the gun, chugs a bottle of whiskey, and collapses on the ground, hoping to die in his drunken state. Deadpool drags him back to the TVA, but they get mocked by Mr. Paradox, because this Wolverine is infamous for being useless. This universe doesn't use useless people as anchor points, so it's still no good. Just then, Wolverine wakes up, and seeing Deadpool cursing, Mr. Paradox then uses the trimming stick to toss both of them into the void. In the Marvel universe, there's actually a place like this, TVA's junkyard. Any discarded timelines and erased people get dumped here, only to be devoured by a cloud known as Alioth. So basically, everyone here is the world's cast-offs. Wolverine is furious. He just had a drink and now finds himself stranded with no way home. He extends his claws and stabs Deadpool in the kidneys, lifting him into the air and demanding to know where they are. Deadpool looks just as confused. Wolverine thinks he's lying, stabs him again in a more sensitive spot, but Deadpool's not easily intimidated. He flips Wolverine over, pins him, and pulls out his guns, blasting away at Wolverine's kidneys. He can't be killed anyway. Wolverine tilts his head back, grabs Deadpool's legs, and hurls him away. Deadpool smashes through a thick wall with a crash. Meanwhile, Wolverine extends his claws. Deadpool panics for a moment. He's still feeling the sting from earlier and knows he can't just go toe-to-toe. Deadpool spots 2 magazines lying nearby. Deadpool versus Wolverine. Who's gonna come out on top? Deadpool swings his arms and stomps his foot, launching his attack first. Wolverine, like a hungry wolf, leaps at him instantly. As they clash, Deadpool pulls out 2 large swords and twists Wolverine's claws away. But Wolverine's claws snap back and stab Deadpool in the chest. Deadpool quickly moves to the rear, slashing across Wolverine's back and stabbing through his body. Even so, Wolverine's still going strong. He knocks Deadpool to the ground and raises his claws, ready to make Deadpool's face unrecognizable. Desperate, Deadpool promises he can save Wolverine's loved ones. All he needs is to get back to the TVA to fix Wolverine's world. Just then, a hooded figure on a lookout tower interrupts them. The figure points to the distance, where a convoy approaches with spiked cages in tow, clearly not friendly. The mysterious figure descends, removes the hood, and reveals himself to be Captain America. Deadpool is thrilled to see a real-life hero. Before heading into battle, Captain America usually shouts, "Avengers Assemble." But the next moment, Captain America suddenly shouts, "Flame on." and bursts into flames, soaring into the sky. But it turns out he's actually Johnny Storm, the Human Torch from the Fantastic Four. A blast of intense fire shoots toward their enemies, but Pyro easily absorbs the flames into his body and, with a simple pinch, extinguishes the Human Torch, leaving him defeated and stuck on the lookout tower. At this point, Wolverine's brother Sabretooth enters the fray. However, he's not the useless Wolverine's real brother. In their clash, the Wolverine quickly takes down Sabretooth. With their victory in hand, they don't get a chance to celebrate. A giant magnet swoops in and captures them, along with the Human Torch. On their way, the Human Torch explains what the Void is, and mentions a female leader who rules here. Wolverine is hopeful, thinking this leader might help them return to the real world. But the Torch warns that the female leader is a real tough cookie, pretty intimidating. Before long, they arrive at a massive Ant-Man base. Professor X has a sister. It turns out Ant-Man slowly opens his hands, and out steps a bald woman from the helmet. Her name is Cassandra Nova, and she's Professor X's twin sister with similar psychic powers. With a wave of her hand, she frees them from their ropes. Cassandra wants to recruit them as her underlings. Seeing an opportunity, Deadpool immediately switches sides, claiming to Cassandra that the Human Torch is a vicious she-demon behind her back. Cassandra raises her hand and performs a skin-peeling maneuver. In an instant, the Human Torch is reduced to pieces. His death is particularly tragic. Wolverine, being a straightforward guy, doesn't grab Deadpool's strategy and accuses him of being inhumane. He extends his claws and charges, but Cassandra merely waves her hand, pinning him to the ground and then burying him. Cassandra waves her hand again, forcing Wolverine to tunnel underground. Deadpool quickly raises his hand, explaining that he just wants to go home and means no harm to her. Then, Cassandra's fingers unexpectedly dive into Deadpool's brain. She sees clearly that Deadpool is struggling with a midlife crisis and fighting with his girlfriend, who harshly tells him, "You'll never be valued." Deadpool quickly realizes that his girlfriend wouldn't say such things. It's Cassandra manipulating his mind. He pulls out a dagger from his leg, ready to attack her. Cassandra glances at the small dagger and finds it somewhat amusing. But before anyone can react, Wolverine swiftly stabs her, and Deadpool's dagger follows suit. Just when they think Cassandra is finished, her expression changes. She smacks her chest, sending Wolverine and the daggers flying, and then hurls them toward Alioth. Alioth, a massive, dark entity, looms over them, its gaping mouth threatening to engulf them. Wolverine grabs a mechanical leg but finds it somewhat faulty. After kicking it a few times, he manages to use it to propel himself and Deadpool out of the Ant-Man base. Afterwards, the two decide to seek out survivors who are resisting Cassandra, and plan to return for revenge. To everyone's surprise, Deadpool has grown out his hair and now has a little dog. The little dog is especially fond of Deadpool, constantly licking his face. After some conversation, Nicepool learns that they're searching for other survivors, and gives them a car. During the drive, Deadpool, ever the chatterbox, inadvertently reveals to Wolverine that he's unsure the TVA can actually help save his loved ones. Wolverine slams on the brakes, claws Deadpool's leg, and angrily accuses him of lying. He also mocks Deadpool for being too scared to confront his ex-girlfriend, who was a stripper. Deadpool, equally enraged, and Wolverine get into a fierce fight in the car. They go all out, kicking each other out of the vehicle repeatedly. At one point, Deadpool pins Wolverine to the car and keeps stabbing at his neck, while Wolverine clamps down on Deadpool's arm, snapping it. Then, Wolverine gets his neck tangled in the seatbelt. Deadpool flips into the front seat and yanks on the seatbelt, but Wolverine pins him down and delivers a brutal blow. The fight continues well into the afternoon, leaving both of them battered and exhausted, unable to finish the other off. They eventually reach a temporary standstill, both too worn out to keep fighting. Deadpool and Wolverine are kidnapped and wake up in an unfamiliar place that looks like a makeshift hideout. Suddenly, there's commotion at the door. Deadpool hides, hoping for a surprise attack, but ends up being knocked to the ground. He sees that the group here includes the likes of Phantom Killer Elektra, Blade, the half-vampire, the mutant hero Gambit, and their leader is Wolverine's deceased daughter, X-23, also known as Laura Kinney. They're all TVA's discarded pieces and are plotting to take down Cassandra. To kill her, they need to neutralize her powers, so they come up with a plan. Once the plan is ready, Deadpool leads the team back to the Ant-Man base. They fire a rocket launcher to blow open the base's main door. Deadpool and his crew charge in with the pedal to the metal. The enemy quickly grabs heavy weaponry, and the battle erupts. Each member of the team holds their own against the attackers. Blade's throwing darts shred the enemy forces. One of the enemies with a long tongue wraps it around Blade's wrist, but Blade uses the opponent's own strength against him. He wraps the tongue around the enemy's neck and drives the dart into his skull. This is the most intense mutant showdown. Gambit channels his energy into his dagger and stabs it into a large enemy, instantly turning him to dust. Meanwhile, Laura, inheriting Wolverine's fierce spirit, performs a powerful slide tackle, severing the helmeted guy's legs, clearing a path for Deadpool and Wolverine to find Cassandra. Cassandra, however, mocks them for their stupidity, saying it's ridiculous they come back after fleeing. With a wave of her hand, Deadpool is sent flying through the air, and Wolverine is forced to perform calisthenics, kneeling and bowing before Cassandra. Cassandra then inserts her fingers into Wolverine's head. Seeing his grief for his lost loved ones, she offers to erase his sadness, but as she says, "I've got you now," Wolverine shakes his head and replies,
"I got you."
In the next moment, Cassandra's veins bulge with dark energy as she's fitted with a helmet. Deadpool isolates her powers within the helmet, effectively neutralizing her abilities. Professor X's sister has a rough time. Suddenly, 3 gunshots ring out, it's Pyro firing. Cassandra gets hit, and Pyro tries to take her place but is knocked down by Wolverine's punch. Cassandra then offers to send them back to their original world if they let her go. They agree, with Wolverine helping her remove the helmet, while Cassandra puts on a special ring to open a portal. Just then, Alioth launches a swift attack. Deadpool and Wolverine barely make it through the portal, escaping back to their world and confronting Mr. Paradox. But in the next moment, Cassandra follows them through. She dives into Mr. Paradox's mind and discovers the time pruner is right here. It turns out she used Deadpool and Wolverine to locate it. With a snap of her fingers, she sends Deadpool and Wolverine flying and drags Mr. Paradox back to TVA. Cassandra plans to cut all the timelines, sending every human in the universe into the void to become her slaves. Ever seen 100 Deadpools? They've come from the void, and along with them are the little dog and Nicepool. Now, 100 Deadpools are out to kill Deadpool and Wolverine for Cassandra's plan. The leading female Deadpool wastes no time and starts shooting. Nicepool becomes a human shield. Deadpool asks him how long it takes to heal, but Nicepool admits he has no healing abilities. Deadpool, being a bit of a jerk, "Let's go to the hospital." But as they leave, he uses Nicepool as a human shield and even stops in the middle of the road. Nicepool is in agony, asking why Deadpool isn't moving. Deadpool responds, "Just catching my breath." In the next moment, Nicepool is shot in the head. Deadpool hastily retreats but finds no escape route, leaving them with no choice but to fight. Deadpool and Wolverine go all out, with Wolverine donning his mask. Together, they unleash a spectacular assault, taking down over 100 Deadpools. They're left with just a baby Deadpool sucking on a pacifier. But since all of them have healing abilities, they quickly get back up. It turns out only Nicepool lacked healing power and was taken out by Deadpool's betrayal. With 100 Deadpools ready for a final showdown, Deadpool's friend Peter shows up. But Peter's true identity is a succubus. As soon as he appears, all the Deadpool's hostility melts away, captivated by his charm. It turns out all the Deadpools across the multiverse are friends with the succubus. They quickly make amends, allowing Deadpool and Wolverine seize the opportunity to head to TVA. Meanwhile, Cassandra activates the time pruner, strapping the device onto her hands and starting to cut the timelines, threatening to destroy many universes. Mr. Paradox informs them that the only way to stop Cassandra is to short-circuit the positive and negative terminals of the pruner to shut it down. Wolverine decides to be the one to bridge the connection. He feels guilty for not protecting his loved ones when they died and wants to make amends. However, just as the door is about to open, Deadpool suddenly punches Wolverine, locking him outside and declaring that he'll take on the deadly mission himself. In a way, Deadpool also wants to confront his own cowardice. He lost his girlfriend due to his own fears and now seeks to prove his bravery. Deadpool smashes the energy device of the time pruner with a punch, and grabs the energy substance in his hand, trying desperately to reach the other end. But the distance is too great, and he can't grasp it. Meanwhile, Mr. Paradox sees that the timeline pruning progress is almost at 0%, and Cassandra is on the verge of success. Suddenly, Deadpool's arm is grabbed. He looks back and sees Wolverine holding onto the other end. Wolverine's clothes are instantly shredded by the intense energy. Together, they form a short-circuit bridge, with energy coursing through every inch of their skin and veins. Deadpool even takes a moment to admire Wolverine's fit physique, nodding in approval. The timelines on the time pruner's side start reversing, but the energy within them is reaching a critical level, threatening to explode at any moment. At that moment, Cassandra is overwhelmed by the backlash of the energy. As the progress bar hits 100%, a blinding white light erupts, and Cassandra is instantly disintegrated. But Deadpool and Wolverine are nowhere to be seen. Did Deadpool and Wolverine really die? The TVA headquarters notices the anomaly and comes to investigate. However, Mr. Paradox flips the script, accusing his superiors of being negligent for not coming when there was danger, and only showing up to gloat once it's over. He expresses his frustration, calling Deadpool and Wolverine the bravest superheroes and his best friends. Just then, Deadpool and Wolverine emerge from the shadows. It turns out they survived by sharing the energy between them. Nearby, a female agent can't help but drool over Wolverine's chiseled physique, prompting Deadpool to remind him to put on some clothes. In the end, Deadpool leaves Wolverine here. With the threat of cosmic destruction finally averted, Deadpool finds the courage to pursue his love and reconciles with his girlfriend. This film is called Deadpool and Wolverine. It's a great watch, so I recommend checking out the original. Thanks for watching, following, and subscribing. See you next time. Bye.